A little brief update. Yeah, I mean, it was nice. We had some nice warm weather, November to January. Got cold barely in February, and it looked like that. And then green tip came in March. It was cold, and then everything sort of slowed down. It seemed like a lot. We got like a day or two of warm weather in May, and you know what we're back to. Low snow, a few rains, green tip. It was not too much precipitation early on. A good time to get some early urea on and copper to get rid of that apple scab. In terms of scab, back to scab. A couple infection periods, but the weather is really cold. And it's sort of borderline on freezing, but we're getting a lot of wetting. For the most part, scab could be trouble, depending on where you are and how much warmer you are than Geneva. A good infection period on 426, one on 420. And it took a break for days, just long enough for you to get a spray on, and then continued out through about 5-1. That's supposed to be 5-1. And at about that time, about everything that was 35% mature just released. And now we could be in another one at this point, ascospores. But it looks like it's going to be cold and rainy for the rest of the month, which apple scab really loves. And, we don't want to see this, so to speak. In terms of mostly in lower areas, orchards are in bloom, like maybe Hudson Valley. I know Pennsylvania and Virginia are having a tough time of the cold weather now. I mean, March and April, really, really slow until that 1st of May. We had a spike of warm weather to push things on towards pink, but it's really locked down. I mean, it could be pink now where you are. I mean, likely is. But it's going to remain really cold for the rest of the month. It's really going to put fire blight down in sort of a low threat area. And, here's the pink. I mean, it could be a prolonged bloom. Could be a really easy fire blight season, but it's going to turn hot towards the end of the week, and it could be that everything catches up. This week's not a good time anymore. I think if you wanted to do your preliminary application of prohexadione calcium at pink, it probably should have happened over the weekend or at the end of last week. And at the time, we put some of this in scaffolds. We recommended, you can go as high as 3 to 6 ounces per 100, or you could try to temper that Prohex calcium with a little bit of Actigard for this early, let's get the thing rolling. And I can talk a little bit about how this works. We're trying to really get shoot blight. I mean, blossom blight's bad because you lose the flowers, but what we're really trying to avoid is that level of devastation you see in the picture. We know it's effective, but just showing you kind of what our thinking of is could we start early to try to get rid of this and also pick up some blossom blight and just start working on shoot blight in advance? That's sort of the idea of this earlier application timing for it, is that can we just stop right with the blossom blight? And the idea is that we know that prohexadione calcium is really good at thickening cell walls and shoots, and that's how it stops fire blight. It can't inject the pathogenicity proteins it needs, and the whole thing shuts down. But so we were wondering, what if I spray it here? Can I thicken this stuff up, and we could stop the spread? So even if you had a good infection or something slipped through, it would get stopped here and not go all the way into the shoots and start blighting the entire system. So that's sort of our idea and thinking of it. Right now, that's sort of what we're thinking and how it could be used. Some of these lower rates don't seem to be impacting some of our field trials at younger orchards around the state. And so it's kind of the idea. Prevent it now so that you don't have to struggle or spray a lot of antibiotics or a lot of prohexadione later when the tissues are going to grow. Kind of stop that pedicel infection. Instead of using it here to stop the shoot infection, we want to stop that one right there. That's sort of the idea. With that, I'll go ahead and turn it back over and let Janet take over from here.